Dr. Steele is a professor of mathematics in the School of Education at the University of Wisconsin. He is currently at NSF on a rotating basis, and a former middle school and high school math and science teacher. He has worked with pre-service secondary math teachers, practicing teachers, administrators, and doctoral students across the country for the past 2 decades. He's also published a number of books and journals on developing mathematics teacher knowledge and supporting enacted research based on effective mathematics teaching practices. He is a co-author of NCTM's Taking Action, Implementing Effective Mathematics Teaching Practices in Grades 6 through 8, and several research-based professional development resources for secondary mathematics teacher. He is also the author of A Quiet Revolution, One District Story of Radical Curricular Change in Mathematics, a resource focused on reforming high school mathematics teaching. Thank you, Dr. Steele.
Thanks, Marie. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for inviting me. It's always fun for me to come out and talk a little bit with the affiliates about what's going on here in your state. So let me kind of run through what we'll do for about the next hour, minute, and 32 seconds that we have together. I of course, contractually obligated to provide a welcome from AMTE. So welcome from AMTE. And I wanted to talk a little bit about our goals and mission at the national level and kind of what we've been thinking about and working on. And we'll have some opportunity for you to get for you to share some of your perspectives and reflections on those goals from the New Jersey standpoint. I'll give a little bit of an overview of the AMTE standards for preparing teachers in mathematics. How many people have dug into that document at some level? Okay, so we got a little bit of familiarity in the room. We'll have a chance to dig a little bit deeper into that today and think about what that document says with respect to our work. That document primarily informs initial teacher preparation, at least the way the document is framed. But I think that there's some very strong implications for that work in terms of early induction and continuing professional development of teachers, since the vision that the AMTE standards puts forth is aspirational, which is code for we're not there yet. So plenty of work that we can do on kind of the induction professional development end. And we'll have some time for discussion. So let me jump into the little talky part of the presentation today so we can get to some of the more interactive parts. So in terms of national AMTE, some of our goals have been to really promote effective mathematics teacher education work in terms of programs, in terms of practices. The sorts of things that we've been thinking about recently are kind of captured on this slide. Thinking about how to facilitate communication and collaboration amongst those involved in mathematics teacher education to really start to build those resources and connect folks. If you're not familiar with the AMTE book series that we've put out now for the past couple of years, for my secondary friends there's a very, very exciting volume coming out very, very soon. It's in its final editing right now about secondary math teacher preparation and recruitment and retention. I know something that at least as a secondary person I lose sleep over. But really putting resources out there that we can use and collaborate around. AMTE is interesting because we bridge this world of research and practice in ways that some of our other professional organizations are much more grounded with one foot in one of those realms than the other. But we really straddle those in a way that I think is really important. So we support research and other scholarly endeavors related to mathematics teacher education, along with thinking about the practical parts of that work. We think about the professional growth of mathematics teacher educators. In a couple of weeks, I'll have the privilege of traveling out to our STAR meeting that we hold every year with early career faculty out in Park City, Utah, which is a week-long induction program for new faculty. We are, I think this is STAR cohort number 12 or 13 at this point, that we've done annually, and we'll have 38 early career mathematics teacher educators there that will support thinking about their service teaching and research. These last two bullets are things that have been a little bit more emergent in the past few years in terms of AMTE. We've tried to elevate our voice in the policy context, and I think the AMTE standards for preparing teachers of mathematics are a really good example of that. In advocating for best practices in mathematics teacher education. So up until we published the standards in 2017, there wasn't a document that said these are the way programs should be structured for effective math teacher preparation. There were just state by state, guidelines and no kind of national voice in that work. So we've really tried to elevate our voice in that respect. We're working with some of our sibling organizations like NCTM and NCSM to think about where there are areas, and MAA as well has been one that we've worked with a whole bunch recently, where there are ways that we can elevate and strengthen the narrative about what good math teaching and learning looks like nationally. One of the things we're working on with MAA right now is an initiative that they have called Get the Facts Out that's about helping late high school, early college students understand comparatively what the benefits are of a career in math or science teaching as compared to a disciplinary career, because there are these, I'm sure this is no secret to all of you, there are some serious misconceptions amongst students, amongst our colleagues in math and science faculty about what the value is or is not of going into a career in teaching. So we're really trying to push that conversation forward. And then thinking about equitable practices in mathematics teacher education, increasing the diversity of mathematics teachers, mathematics teacher educators. I know this is something that probably keeps you all up at night as much as it keeps me up at night, in terms of getting some folks, getting more folks into the profession that are more representative of the students that they're going to teach. So this is kind of where our headspace has been for AMTE nationally. If you are maybe perhaps a little bit less familiar with national AMTE and our major activities, I'll just hit some of the highlights here. These are the things we do from year to year. We do professional development through our annual conference, our webinars. In fact, I will give you all a preview because I just answered the email this morning. We're going to have a webinar next Tuesday related to the new NAEP framework for mathematics that's being published and is out for public comment right now. So that's something that lights your particular fire. Look for an email on that. We publish with NCTM, we co-publish the Mathematics Teacher Educator Journal. I was actually just at their editorial board meeting on Wednesday. I mentioned the AMTE book series. We also are responsible for the mathematics section of the Contemporary Issues in Technology Education Journal. The third bullet, I almost kind of hate having to write this on my slides, but it's become more and more of a focus of our work over the past few years, is that we've been supporting researchers who are under attack, advocating for more equitable mathematics education, responding to emerging issues. So when news outlets or online sources pick up and bend out of shape stories about, interrogating whiteness in mathematics education, and researchers are being attacked for that, we're there to push back on that. We've been working harder to connect affiliates with each other and to connect them with AMTE, which is why I'm here today, and to learn about the work you're doing and to share some of the work that we're doing, and disseminating information related to the AMTE standards and other initiatives, both through the AMTE website and some of the outreach that we use, is really become quite important to us. I'm, again, contractually obligated to make the pitch for the 2020 meeting in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. There's no better place to be in February than Phoenix. So again, actually made our first time in Phoenix. We're very excited about that. Good flight options, nice hotel there. So we're really excited to be able to make a debut in Phoenix, and hope that as many of you as possible will come and join us for that meeting. registration will be open soon. I wanted to share, we put forward a set of strategic priorities for AMTE every year, and these are the 3 that we have this year. And I want to introduce these because I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about how the work here in New Jersey reflects aspects of these priorities, and talk back to us about the sorts of things that you'd like to see AMTE doing and leading nationally related to these. So these are our 3 for this year. Exploring multiple avenues for AMTE members to recognize and address inequities, building towards more equitable practice. I mentioned we've had equity on our minds for a while, and I really like the way we've framed this particular priority this year, because we've been focused on kind of promoting equity and getting stronger equity for the past few years. I like framing this around inequities. You might have an initial reaction to that might be like, well, should we focus on those negative things? And like, I think it's the right time. Like, I think it's the right time to really look inward and say, what are the things that we see in our work that are inequitable, that maybe some of them are within our purview to be able to change, maybe some of them are more systemic in terms of where those inequities are coming forward. Like, for example, I look at my own secondary mathematics teacher preparation program in Milwaukee, and like, I see what the inequities are here. I hear from my students of color, the handful I have that come through the program, and the struggles that they have getting just to this point where they're in my class, that the white students here are not reporting those same things. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on that's inequitable within my system, and how do I really interrogate that and think about building towards more equitable practices? We've been trying to identify and engage a broader constituency for AMTE. James, unfortunately, was captive to my rants about this morning when he came and picked me up at the hotel. AMTE traditionally has been focused on higher education folks, and certainly that's a big part of what we do. It's a big part of mathematics teacher education. But we've got so many people out there who have skin in the game, that are stakeholders in mathematics teacher education, that aren't here, that aren't in the room with us here, that aren't at AMTE nationally, that are doing professional development in district-based or regional contexts with teachers, that are regular mentor teachers for the student teachers that we work with. They don't even see themselves as mathematics teacher educators, let alone are part of this conversation. And also increasing I think looking at a broader constituency too, in terms of diversity. Like, do we have the representation at regional and national AMTE meetings that we want from our HBCUs, from our Hispanic serving institutions, from our 2-year institutions that are part of the pipeline for our future mathematics teachers? And I think we can answer that question differently in different places, but I think it's a good question for us to think about. And then the least sexy of our strategic priorities this year, but an important one, is AMTE is an organization as we've grown. We are, about nationally about 1,000 members strong at any one given point in time. It's come a long way from the ragtag group of about 30 that founded the organization in 1991. We're really working on engaging the membership in strategic planning for the organization. We've set strategic priorities year to year, and then a new board comes in and there's a new set of strategic priorities that are like, what can we achieve in the scope of a year? And it's time for us to start looking 5 to 10 years down the road. It's no secret that I heard a lot of conversations earlier this morning about declining enrollments in mathematics teacher education generally, challenges with the viability of our programs, and pushes from administration to get kids through quicker and with fewer credits and with more certification options. And if we're really going to advocate for what good mathematics teacher education looks like, we have to start being a little bit more forward-looking with how we think about that planning. So as I said, that's the talking part. Now it's the you talking part. So let's talk a little bit about this, and I'd like you to herd up in some small groups to talk a little bit about this right now. So what aspects of mathematics teacher education would you like to see AMTE attend to? What sorts of constituencies in terms of roles, in terms of demographics, perspectives, do you feel like we need to amplify within the organization, and you can think nationally, you can think here from New Jersey AMTE perspective, and what aspects of this nexus of equity and inequity in mathematics teacher education are most important to you right now in New Jersey? What are the things that are keeping you up at night about this? So why don't you turn and talk to some folks nearby for about the next 4 minutes and 58 seconds, and then we'll come back together.